Hey, here we are, week 12, live Lance's Lock. Getting ready for a big weekend of college football. Plays up tonight. We'll get to those in a little bit. Questions, comments, anything you guys want to get into. Recap last night, and super excited about a big weekend in college football and obviously the NFL, week 11 in the NFL. I've got some numbers I'm going to go through too because we have been killing it, and we want to continue to do that for you guys. Win you money and have a big weekend and try to close out this college football regular season the right way over the next 3 weeks. So again, appreciate all you guys jumping on a little late today because I am in a different time zone. If you watch the next round today, you know that I am on the West Coast getting ready for Iowa USC and the Rams and the Seahawks this weekend. So really excited about that outside of the shitty weather that is in Los Angeles all weekend long. Ryan, the Airbnb looks fire. It's awesome. Now, I fucked my shin up and almost fell through a coffee table. I told that story earlier today. So the guy that built this, it's almost like a trap house. I don't know exactly how to kind of lay this out. It's very, very modern, super cool, and it's got all this outdoor area that we're going to be not able to utilize because, you know, one weekend out of 52 weekends in LA, it rains, and this is the one particular weekend they've got flooding. So for whatever that's worth, rooftop, pool, cool outside, not going to be able to utilize that, but really, really cool place. So with that said, we're taking questions, comments, anything you guys want to get into week 12 of college football, including both games tonight. We did not play the early game in the ACC with Clemson and Louisville. We stayed away. Very, very difficult game, in my opinion, to handicap. We do have the nightcap tonight on the West Coast in Autzen with Oregon hosting on a Friday night, Minnesota, and we've got a total in that game. So total is available there. But again, we can get into any of these games you guys want to go through. 9 plays up and available for you tomorrow. The last couple of college football Saturdays have been unbelievable. By the way, you guys can continue your conversation. Don't worry about what we're doing here. So we got a traveling party here. They're like worried about we can't have conversations in the background because of the show going on. And you guys know that we're very, very informal, never on time. And, it's been kind of an interesting day because we did the first half hour of the 3 hours of the next round, and then we kind of bounced around Venice Beach is kind of the area we're in. Oregon team total over 34.5. Thoughts for tonight, Johnny Originator. So here's the thing about Oregon. I do believe, and this is where it gets a little tricky because I liked Oregon. I wanted to lay the points. I did play the total here. This Minnesota offense is terrible. 97th in scoring offense. Oregon really has been winning games based on their defense, dominant defense. 8th nationally right now, giving up less than 14 points per game. It's what won them the game this past weekend against Iowa and Iowa City. But I give Dante Moore a lot of credit because that final drive, pretty incredible, where he gets them in field goal range. They end up walking it off with a field goal there and made some incredible throws down the stretch. But this Oregon offense, in my opinion, needs a little confidence boost. Next weekend can be a massive game. If USC beats Iowa and they're favored 6.5, depending on where you're shopping it right now, in the Coliseum tomorrow, and Oregon wins, which they should tonight, whether they cover is yet to be seen, then we've got a game where Oregon's got the 1 loss, USC's got 2 losses. If you look at Oregon's resume, their best win is at Iowa. USC does have a better resume. They got the loss to Notre Dame, but I believe if USC beats Oregon in that situation after beating Iowa, I think USC's in. Now, USC is more than likely going to be getting double digits, close to 10 points at Oregon next weekend. But this is a game, to me, if you're Dan Lanning and you're Will Stein running this offense, you want to make sure Oregon gets a little confidence going into that USC game. My opinion there. So I don't know if that helps you out, Johnny. I believe they're going to try, and it doesn't matter if they're up 27 in the fourth quarter. I think they're going to continue to try to score points. So if I was going to play the team total, I think I would play the over there. But if you look at my overall play I've got tonight, it kind of contradicts that, if that makes any sense at all. But I do like Oregon, and I do have a total play on this game at lanceslock.com, where I want to go through these numbers. I got a super tease for you guys coming up. Appreciate everybody jumping on here. Again, we do this. We try to do it every Friday night. We do it Saturday mornings. Tomorrow is going to be a little interesting because it is West Coast. We're probably going to be out a little late tonight. And so we'll see what time we get up tomorrow, but just check your notifications and we will let you know when we are going live tomorrow. But some numbers for you. So we give a free play every single day here. And for a lot of people there's a lot of handicappers that just completely bullshit everything they do. This is our 12th year of doing this. And you guys know because I've got to be accountable. I'm on the air from 9 to 12 every single day, Monday through Friday. So you know where to find me. So it's not like I'm trying to grab somebody's $100 here and this is obviously a side hustle for me, but I take a lot of pride in it and I want you guys to win. With all that said, we have been absolutely killing it. So our free plays, we give you a free play every single day. Go to lanceslog.com and you can monitor us right there. We are 20-4, our last 24 free plays. We have been killing it. That's 83% over the last 3.5 weeks, absolutely free. The last 2 Saturdays, if you're just buying the day pass, 13-4 in college football. Overall in college football this year, we're 56%. We're 81-63. College hoops, we're already 9-4 on the season, 69%. NFL, 33-18, 65%. NBA, that is the one thing that has been, I'm telling you, it's the kryptonite, but we're only 1 game under 500. We've won 5 consecutive games in the NBA, so we're 1 game down there. But we're rolling right now. We got 3 plays tonight. We got 1 in college hoops, 1 in the NBA. We've got that total that I mentioned in the Minnesota-Oregon game. Those are all up and available and ready to roll tonight. So jump on board. We've got a free play up again, 20-4, last 24 free plays. Off subject from Ryan, Matthew McFadden, Tom from Succession going to win an Emmy this year. Absolutely. If you have not seen Death by Lightning, the 4-part miniseries on Netflix, holy shit. It is absolutely incredible. Michael Shannon, as creepy as he is, I think he's one of the better actors right now going in Hollywood. He plays President James Garfield. I didn't know the story, the behind the story on how James Garfield got the nominee for the Republican Party. And then Matthew McFadden's character who comes in, and I'm not going to give any of this away because I just didn't know it. It's one of my, I've got a few regrets in life, not a lot, but one of the things that I would do if I could go back, instead of being a C student and just doing absolutely nothing in school, just showing up and zoning out, I would actually pay attention and I would study history because I am fascinated with history now. But this is one of those things. 4 presidents, U.S. presidents, have been executed in our lifetime. And James Garfield was one of those guys in 1881. And this story, I'm telling you, if you have nothing to do tonight, like side TV, and I do this a lot, girlfriend and I will sit on the couch. I'm not going to bother with the sound. And so I'll have TVs where I can monitor all my games, but I'll have a specific thing that I watch. If you can carve out 3.5 hours tonight for the 4 parts of Death by Lightning, do it. It is fantastic. And yes, back to your question there, Ryan. I think that Matthew McFadden will walk with an Emmy for his performance in Death by Lightning. Johnny Originator, FAU plus 17.5 worth a shot. I did take a look at this. I don't have current numbers up. I did take a look at Florida Atlantic. I ended up staying away from that game. I think they've obviously got a shot to get inside the number. As far as covering that number, as far as winning the game outright, I mean, we know this by now. Each and every week we are going to have a 2 touchdown or more underdog probably win the game outright. I don't think that's the one though, but I would play them plus the points. Ryan, any idea the spread is going to be in the Auburn-Houston game this Sunday? Never thought I would take Red Zone off the main screen. Yeah, I don't even know if I'm going to be able to watch any of that game this weekend. I would say because it's in Legacy. Houston, arguably the best team, obviously number 1 right now in college basketball. I would say that Houston, you're probably going to get a fair price. I don't know how good Auburn is right now. I think they're going to get better. Pettiford's got to find his shot. I am going to say that Houston is going to be a 4.5-point favorite, but I have not seen the number. That's just my guess. But if it's only 4.5, I think you're getting value with Houston. Just my opinion right here. More confident, Texas or Oklahoma covers from Joey Freshwater. I think it's Texas. I like Texas in this spot a lot. We look at Georgia, 36-1 against teams other than Alabama in the SEC over the last 5 years. Texas has had a massive Georgia problem, Sark. Much like Kirby's got the Alabama problem. We've talked about this a bunch before. It's kind of a real thing right now. But Texas, the last couple of weeks, 79 points in 2 games, Arch has gone over 300 yards passing in both games with 3+ touchdowns. I think the offense has kind of found itself. Their 11th scoring defense, giving up a little over 16 points per game. I think Texas is going to come to play tomorrow in Athens, and I wouldn't be surprised if they win the game at all. So I would go Texas just based on the fact that I think they're more well-rounded. John Mateer has not gotten over the thumb injury, and this offense is kind of a mess for Oklahoma, as good as their defense is. And I think Oklahoma will play with Bama tomorrow, but I think Texas has got more of a legitimate shot of being a live dog tomorrow than Oklahoma. What else do we got? And by the way, we're taking any questions, comments, you guys. If you want to do entertainment, you want to do bourbon, which a little early for the bourbon out here, but we've gotten on that already in California. And it's a really, really good bourbon. By the way, it's what do we got here? A little Whistle Pig. The awesome thing about this, you can walk in a grocery store and you've got this incredible selection of just great bourbons and tequilas. And unfortunately, we don't have that kind of stuff in Alabama. And even more importantly, next door to the grocery store is a dispensary where you can get absolutely everything you want, which is much more fun than some of the things we've got in our archaic state, as much as I love Alabama. So resetting this, again, anything you guys want to get into, we can do that right now. We've got 9 plays up and available tomorrow. Ryan, the elephant in the room, does the Airbnb have an option for ESPN? That is such a great question. It's an Indian dude that owns this. I don't think he's a big sports fan based on he left a couple of his apps open. And, you know, it goes to what you typically watch. And there was like some reality TV bullshit. And I don't think he's like a sports fan, but he is on YouTube TV. So no ESPN there. But it's not a big deal because we're not going to be here for the games. We're going to the Coliseum tomorrow for Iowa and USC. Probably based on this shitty weather, we'll probably leave at halftime, and then we'll go find a sports bar to watch the rest of that game and the second half of Oklahoma and Alabama. OU boards are very confident. It's like Bama shouldn't show up. I hope Bama remembers last year. I brought this up earlier today, Joey, that Alabama over the last 15 years has only lost to 2 programs in back-to-back years. Everybody remembers Hugh Freeze and Ole Miss in 13-14. And then just last year and the year before, Harbaugh's last year, Saban's last year in the Rose Bowl, Michigan, and then Michigan in the bowl game last year. It just doesn't seem likely. Like this revenge tour has been so good for DeBoer. And Kalen DeBoer 19-3 versus ranked opponents, which is absolutely insane. Even more insane, 15-2 when they go ranked versus ranked. 12-0 at Bryant-Denny. Like everything lines up. It's the thing that throws me off. And it was kind of like Dunaway brought this up earlier today on the next round. Troy and Old Dominion, same records in the Sun Belt, but Old Dominion, with Troy getting their quarterback back, the Monarchs are a 10.5-point favorite. I thought Old Dominion was a little bit better. I see that number. It tells me with how inflated it is that Old Dominion's going to roll. They roll 33-0. So with that said, I think this Bama number is a little low. Like I would have listed this at like, as good as Oklahoma's defense is, their offense is trash right now. I probably would have said Alabama 8.5 to 10 based on how good DeBoer's been at home and how good he is ranked versus ranked and how bad this Oklahoma offense is. Because it's sitting at 6, it scares me a little bit, if that makes any sense to you guys. That's one of the reasons I think Oklahoma's going to keep it close, and they have a legitimate defense. No cheese, please. You expect this Clemson D to slow down Louisville any tonight over looks tasty. I don't know. I can't figure out either one of these teams. Isaac Brown will not play for Louisville tonight. That's a big factor. He was the guy that gave Clemson problems. Now everything's going to be on Miller Moss. I don't think Miller Moss is a good enough quarterback where he can actually take everything on his back and actually get wins. But the good news is he's going against the Clemson offense, that 70th in scoring offense. Defense hasn't been much better. They're 53rd in scoring defense right now. And they're 4-10 their last 14 out. But Louisville's 0-6 their last 6 against the number on home games. I completely stayed away from it. I had a Clemson lean early. If I was playing the total, I guess I would play the over, but I don't feel good about it. So I know that doesn't do anything for you, no cheese, please. But again, I abandoned the game. And I've gotten to the point now during the week, and we've played Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Yeah, so we're 3-0 right now in college football this week. So we have played one game every week. I try not to force them, though. And that's one of the reasons that I did like the total in the late game in Oregon between Minnesota and the Ducks. And it's the only thing I played. Would love to have a play on Clemson Louisville, but I just didn't like it. So I did stay away from it. 132 of you guys on here live. Like, subscribe. We would appreciate that. We'll do another one in the morning. I'll give you guys updates on that. We're probably going to hang out for another. Can I get that? The phone. Yeah. Thanks. We're probably going to hang out for another 10 or so minutes here. So if you guys have any other questions, let me know. Would really, really appreciate that. And again, we will give you, check your notifications for updates tomorrow as we get ready for another big weekend of college football. Again, 13-4 the last 2 Saturdays. We have killed it. And hopefully we'll continue to do that for you guys. We've already got 9 plays mapped out. We've got 8 sides. We have got 1 total. We've got 1 11 o'clock game. You guys know I hate the 11 o'clock games, but this one was going back to what No Cheese Please said. This one's tasty. We'll say that. Ryan, one of my pick 3s is Ohio State minus 35.5 over UCLA. Have a feeling the Bruins won't hit the red zone until second half. So I took a long, hard look at that under. I was going to play the under in this game. I pulled it. There was like 15 totals, and we've gotten – and if you guys have been part of the service for the last 12 plus years, you know that I haven't done a lot of totals in college football. We've gotten really aggressive on the totals the last month, and we've done really, really well on the totals. But I did take a look at that under because I don't think UCLA's – I think this could be an Ohio State shutout. I think Ohio State fans are really excited about this game because you know what Ohio State never gets? Not a win, not a shutout. They never get night games. And Ohio State has a primetime game on NBC against UCLA, who has more than come back to earth. So I kind of agree with you. I would lay it. I would play the under, minus 31.5, and under that small total is a disgusting combination. But typically when it looks like, man, how can this work out? It typically works out. So yes, Ryan, I am with you. I like Ohio State. I like the under more than that, though, because I don't think UCLA is going to have any success scoring at all against this Ohio State team. And honestly, I think Ryan Day will continue with the number 1 scoring defense right now, only giving up 7 points per game. I think they will play their asses off, and they continue to try to make a statement. They're 11-1 their last 13 against the number. On the other side, the Bruins 3-9 their last 12 out. Anything else you guys want to get into tonight for week 12 of the college football slate? Week 11, NFL, some big NFL games. Again, really excited about this Rams-Seahawks game. I don't feel good about it. It has kicked up to the Rams -3, which is, everybody knows this, kind of the Vegas mentality is if you got 2 evenly matched teams, the home team's always going to get 3 points. SoFi is not really a good, although I've never been there, but I've watched a ton of games from my couch. Excited about being there for the first time this weekend. That is not a major, massive home field advantage for the Rams, but there is a reason they're favored in that game, but 2 really, really good teams. Florida State, Virginia Tech, do you bother touching that game? I didn't. I leaned Virginia Tech, and it's just hard for me. You know, I think Coach Montgomery has done a good job of at least trying to keep them engaged. Florida State, I can't figure out. 2 weeks ago, they finally snapped that ridiculous 9-game losing streak in the ACC. They blow out Wake Forest, and then they come back and they shit the bed against Clemson. I can't figure them out. Florida State has got a good offense when it's popping. It just doesn't seem to pop. They don't use Deuce Robinson enough, in my opinion. Castellanos has been good. He hadn't been great. They were running the football so effectively early in the season. Got to get back to that. But I kind of like Virginia Tech with their long, lanky receivers, keeping that one close, 6:30 tomorrow night, ACC Network. Will you release your teaser tomorrow? I can do it right now, and then I'll do it again tomorrow. So here's what I was looking like on that super teaser. I've got 4 plays, and I've got to whittle them down. So I think all 4 of these hit, and you guys can play them however you want. So I'm actually going to take it a little bit further. And so I'll take a loss on a 3-team teaser with all 4. I feel that good about this. First thing we're going to do, and no cheese, please, I'll get to this next one in a second. We're going early tomorrow just because of Pat Narduzzi's comments. And I do want to bring this up because I think this is really interesting. I think Pat Narduzzi is a really good coach. I think it's a difficult job. But Pittsburgh right now, 44th in scoring defense, scoring offense, they're averaging almost 40 points per game. Mason Heichel, when he took over, the freshman's 5-0, is a starting quarterback right now. for the Panthers. The interesting thing for me, though, since Narduzzi took this job in 2015, there are only 2 programs that have more sacks than Pittsburgh. And I bet if you guys sit back, let it beat for a second, you can figure this out. Clemson and Alabama. So Pittsburgh and Narduzzi, former defense coordinator for Mark D'Antonio at Michigan State, they get after the quarterback. But in this spot with Narduzzi already coming out and saying, look, it doesn't matter if we lose by 100. We just need to win our ACC games. Don't like that mentality. Notre Dame's still trying to get style points, although they don't need it. If they win out, they are in the college football playoff. But I like Notre Dame minus 2.5. That is my first one. Another 11 o'clock game. Michigan Northwestern. Game seems bigger for Northwestern as far as like just getting back in the realm of David Braun, having a team that, they played USC somewhat close last Friday night, but they need one of these signature wins. And at Wrigley Field tomorrow on Fox, they got the national audience. But I think Michigan too much on the ground. I like Michigan. You can tease that one down from 10 to a pick. Michigan right now, the scoring offense hasn't been good, but they've got 25 rushing touchdowns. They absolutely get after it on the ground, and I think that they will pound and grind Northwestern. So I do like Michigan there. Ole Miss minus the 1.5. Ole Miss minus 1.5. Oh, you can walk out. It's not a big deal. We'll see you later tonight, okay? Have fun. Be safe. Ole Miss is the other one, minus 1.5. They're not losing back-to-back years to Florida. Impossible. I just can't imagine, because if Ole Miss was to drop their second game and to lose again to Florida, I think it becomes a situation for the committee where we talked about this on the next round. If Vanderbilt is able to win out and beat Tennessee, and Vanderbilt has 2 losses, Ole Miss has 2 losses, if it gets down to a situation where it's one of the two, I actually think Vanderbilt would get the nod in front of Ole Miss. So that's really interesting. I think Ole Miss probably handles Florida. They're going in the wrong direction. Kentucky easily got them. So I think Ole Miss minus 1.5. And then the final one, a game that I like a lot, tomorrow night, a team that is rolling right now in the Big 12, probably a little too late for Kyle Whittingham. And I know you guys tease me about being a big Utah guy, and I'm really not. I just respect the job he's done. And they've got an top 8 scoring offense and defense. They're 9-2 their last 11 against the number. Dan Pierre has been really, really good at quarterback. And you look at Baylor's scoring defense, 100th scoring defense, giving up over 29 points per game, 1-6 their last 7 against the number. So I tease that one down to 1.5. So Notre Dame minus 2.5, Michigan at the pick, Ole Miss minus 1.5, Utah plus 1.5. Any combination of those 3 on a 10-team teaser is going to work for you. No cheese, please. More rushing yards Saturday. You think Manning or Stockton? Looking for a little prop. I probably would play Manning just because I think, Bobo to Sark. I think Sark is trying to do more dink and dunk point guard for Manning, and then letting him kind of, create with the legs a little bit more. So I think he's going to get more opportunity. And I think the Texas defense is better than the Georgia defense right now. So I would take Manning in that prop. I haven't even looked at those numbers right now. I would say Manning's probably 38.5, Stockton probably 27, something about that, but I haven't looked at them. Ryan, since you're going to the Rams game on Sunday, what is the best game that you have attended regardless of the sport? I appreciate that question. So, this is not like a humble brag. I was really fortunate early in my career to have some access to some Super Bowl tickets. I have paid for a couple of Super Bowl tickets. I'll never do it again, or at least I don't plan on doing it again, because the last time I did it was Super Bowl 53 when the Rams scored 3 points against the New England Patriots, their last Super Bowl loss. And at that point, they have just outpriced all the fans. But early, first Super Bowl I ever went to was Super Bowl 34 with the Titans and the Rams in Atlanta. It was a freeze. Kind of reminds me of the weather going on here in California. But it was the Mike Jones tackle on Kevin Dyson. Just an incredible game. Was about to go to overtime. He makes that tackle. I got a free ticket to that Super Bowl, to Super Bowl 34. Incredible game. I was at Super Bowl 36 when Vinatieri and Tom Brady's first Super Bowl, they walked it off. Another great game that I don't like to really remember. But probably the best game I've ever been to, and this is so random, was the 2012 SEC championship game between Alabama and Georgia was absolutely incredible. I thought 2019 Alabama LSU was really fun too. But the best game was probably the Patriots and Panthers Super Bowl in Houston. And I forgot what year that was. I think it was Super Bowl 38, maybe 2002, 2003 ish. And Jake Delhomme was quarterback for the Panthers. Mushin Mohammed, Steve Smith, really good receivers. Thought the Panthers were going to win that game. It was just a great game. And Vinatieri, surprisingly, shockingly, walked that one off too. So the weird thing is, like, some of the best games I've ever seen are Super Bowls, and that was a free ticket too. So not like a humble brag, because I didn't even pay for those tickets. And again, I will never pay for a Super Bowl ticket in my life, as much fun as it is. And if you have the opportunity, if you're an NFL fan, even if you're not, that's one of those bucket list things. So I would highly recommend doing that if you ever can. 191 of you guys on right now. We're going to go about 4 more minutes. Really appreciate you guys joining me on a Friday night. I guess out there it is 6 o'clock Central Time. We are here at 4 o'clock, and we are getting ready for a big weekend in at least this area. 2 really good games. One of the Big 12, the Coliseum tomorrow with Iowa and USC. Boy, I wish that was a night game, at least a night game in Alabama, kind of a mid-afternoon game here, but it is a 2:30 Central Time kick, 12:30 here, and then obviously Sunday getting ready for the Rams and the Seahawks. Okay, Ryan, we'll take a bourbon sip right here. There you go. Cheers. And Ryan, I will do this more. So if you join in, I think you did last week, we've got the new studio set up back at the house. So when we get back full force, and we're going to not be out of town forever coming next week, we will be doing more of these. And I want to do something more consistent, and maybe we can do some, college football playoff shows and figure it out. But yes, we do want to do more of these as well. So I appreciate you guys taking time to hang out with us and ask questions and kind of take in what we're doing here. And again, we're trying to win games for you guys. I know I do some scratches on some late games that I pulled off last minute. Michigan was one of those games. A couple of reasons. It was early. I don't like the early games. I did play one early game. I do think Michigan's, well, first of all, defense is going to be way too much. Northwestern, man, they're gritty, and they did everything they could. I thought it was, and even pulling for USC, I thought it was a Bush League move for Sam Heward to come in wearing number 80 and the fake punt that, USC goes down, they go up 14-7 without the Maeva tackle down on the pylon that caused the fumble that goes through the end zone for the touchback. Northwestern might win that game. USC wins by 21, but Northwestern, just watching them, they're step slow. David Braun's got them playing hard, but I think Michigan's still very much in the mix, which is kind of crazy because obviously they got to win out, which would include another win over Ohio State. And I can't even imagine what that would look like. But if they do win out, Michigan is in the college football playoff. They haven't been covering is one thing that scares me, and is an inflated number. I mean, double digits against a gritty Northwestern team could be difficult, but I would lay it here. I ended up not playing it, but that is one that I really took a look at, was Michigan minus the 10.5 there. Ohio State, I was asked about them. I scratched them late. I did like Ohio State a lot. I took a look at Indiana early. I know Jim had them in our pick 3 earlier today. Indiana, I mean, Cignetti's just got a mentality. He does not give a shit. He wants to beat the holy hell out of everybody. Was unable to do it last week. So I could see him be somewhat petty and be like, you know what? We couldn't get it done last week, but this week we'll get it done. And again, Heisman Trophy wide open. I think Mendoza is probably your front runner right now. I know there are different shops that have different guys favored right now, but 26 passing touchdowns, tied for first in the FBS with Sawyer Robertson right now. The number 2 scoring defense, number 1 scoring offense. They're covering outside of last week, 6-3 against their last 9 outs. I think Indiana probably puts it to a Wisconsin team that did everything in their power to win that game last week for Luke Fickell once he was given the vote of confidence and the rest of the year as they beat last week. Who did Wisconsin beat? We had them plus the 10.5. Oh, Washington. Yeah, there you go. Thank you, Ryan. I will try to have a really good time out here. Kennesaw State looking good, 3-point favorites at the Gamecocks. Any lean there? So, yes, I have been playing Kennesaw State a lot, been riding them. I like Jacksonville State in this game, so I stayed away from it, if that makes any sense. Been back in Kennesaw State way too much. I do kind of like Jack State plus the 3 here, but I stayed away from it because I do think Kennesaw is really, from where they were last year to where they are right now, is pretty impressive. Okay, so that's going to do it for us. Full 30 minutes with you guys tonight. 195 of you watching. Really appreciate that. Hope you guys have a wonderful Friday night. I'll be back with you in the morning. Look out for notifications, and we will let you know what time we will be jumping on live with you. Be safe out there. If you have any questions or comments for week 12 of the college football season tomorrow, please let me know. Also, week 11 in the NFL. We would appreciate that. Again, appreciate all you guys jumping on. Be safe out there. And if you want to DM me anything, I'll be available and I'll be around. So look forward to talking to you guys tomorrow. Let's win tonight. Again, 3 plays up, 20-4, our last 24 free plays. We got a free play tonight. We've got 1 play in college hoops, 1 in the NBA, 1 in college football, where we're already 3-0 this week. Jump on, win with us at lanceslock.com. Thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful Friday night, and we will talk to you soon.